The Agile Toolkit. So, hi, I'm your host, Bob Payne, and I'm here at Agile Coaches Camp US. The Canadians will have my hide if I don't give them credit for their coaches camp. And I'm here with Ester Derby again after so many years.
It's nice to be here again.
We've recorded many a podcast, and now we'll see how the videos come out. So, what are you hoping to talk about here at Coaches Camp?
I didn't come with any topic I wanted to talk about as much as I want to soak things in and hear what people are talking about and keep an ear out for what people are not talking about to see if there's some things that would be helpful that aren't yet a topic of conversation. Okay.
I know I was popped in on a session that you were having with George.
Yeah.
In the open space, and you guys were talking about models for large groups and how that's different from coaching individuals.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you're trying to make a change, you need to work on the individual level and the team level and the organizational level. And I see a lot of emphasis on how to coach individuals. And I think what George is about with this session, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, is that if you want to coach a group, you need a different set of tools and models.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the things we were talking about was the models that various people in the group have used to help interpret group behavior and then choose an intervention to help the group be more productive and more effective and improve their working relationships and their interactions.
Like what are some examples of tools?
Well, some of the models I work with are Hackman's ideas on the conditions for effective teamwork. So that's one way I look at teams, because very often you see behavior on teams that if you're only looking at the individual, you can peg the problem to the individual.
Right.
Like, you just need to get with the program and get on with
You're a poison pill.
You're the problem. But what I very often find is that, if people are arguing, it's because they don't have a shared understanding of the goal.
Right.
Right. So coaching people to, as individuals in that situation won't help. Right, because what's really needed is to clarify the goal for everybody. So I look at Hackman. I find that very useful to just see about what the starting conditions for the team are. I also use a model I learned from Jerry Weinberg, which is the MOIJ model. It stands for motivation. How's the energy? Is it too high, too low? How well are they organized for the task at hand? Are they over-organized, under-organized? What's the information flow? Is their idea rich or idea poor? And then the J stands for jiggling, which actually has to do with whether they're stuck.
Right.
Right. So you can use that model to get a sense of what is going on with the team, and then you choose how to adjust the situation. So, for example, you could say, this team isn't very motivated, I have to give them some more motivation. But if you look in a more sophisticated way, you may see, well, this team doesn't have much energy. Perhaps it's because they're over-organized and we need to remove some constraints on them. And so then instead of acting directly on motivation, you act on the organization element, and it can affect other things. So those are just two of the models I use. I used Glenda Oyang's Containers, Differences, and Exchanges.
Okay, not familiar with that one at all.
Yeah, well, that's looking at, containers are anything that hold a group together. So it could be the room they're in, it could be their goal,
their role.
It could be their role, their professional identity. Differences have to do with those just differences that always exist, and which ones are helping the team be effective and which ones are getting in their way. So looking at which ones to amplify and which ones to dampen. And the third one is exchanges, which is the flow of information within the group and external to the group. So I shift between those models.
Right, and they were talking about I forgot who brought it up. Might have been Andrew. The BJ Fogg.
Yeah,
which I'm not familiar
with either.
But I want to go take a look at that.
I will be taking a look at that.
Yeah.
But I find if you're going to work with a team, it's essential that you have models to really see the interactions of the group in a way that you can make helpful suggestions and help them see how they are perhaps getting in their own way.
Yeah. What tools do you find useful for letting the not the individuals but the teams or organizations own the change?
Well, very often when I work with clients and I work with teams within my client organizations, I act as an observer. And then I tell them what I'm seeing, and then I may offer them suggestions about how they can make it better for themselves, but they choose what they're going to change. Right. So then it is their ownership. I'm just holding up the mirror. And
they always do, regardless of the model that we use.
There you go.
Yeah, you can lead a client to Agile, but you can't, or any other change.
You can lead a human to knowledge, but you can't make them think. Is that
something like that? Yeah. So what else? What else has been happening?
What else? Well, Don Gray and I are working on we did it the first time in the spring. We have another one coming up pretty quick. Workshop called Coaching Beyond the Team.
Okay.
And that workshop is, again, we're looking at how to help coaches really build their tool cases, because we find a lot of coaches who are pretty good at working with individuals and can work well on a team, but when it comes to helping adjust the environment outside the team, they don't have enough in their toolbox. Right. Because it just doesn't work to go up to manager and say, here's your impediment list. Does that ever work for you?
No, I usually put it on the wall.
You put it on the wall, yeah. Here's all the things you're doing wrong. That just doesn't work. So we are sharing a series of skills and models to help people really center themselves, enter the management system, and then work with people to depict the problems and gain their interest in working on them together.
So you guys are holding a couple of sessions of that? Or?
Well, we have one scheduled in October, just coming up the 13th and 14th, and we are finalizing the date for the spring.
The next one? Okay,
yeah, late winter, early spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So is this your first time to Indianapolis? It is mine.
It is. I've never been here before.
Yeah.
And
I wish I had a little more time.
I was out strolling around last night as we went to dinner with a group, and just.
And I'm going to miss the Kurt Vonnegut Library.
Yeah, I
didn't know it was
probably
here.
will too. But I saw the big pillar.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, I have to go see what that is about.
I think I didn't see it up close, but it is a Civil War memorial.
Ah.
So.
Interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Appreciate
Thank
it. As always, a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we'll talk again sometime.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Thanks.